Hi everyone and welcome to T-Chat 35. Thank you so much for coming on today and listening to these messages. I'm really excited to speak about this oncoming week of around the time of October 11th until October 18th. Really interesting energy that we have coming in now. Very good opportunities for contentment and excitement and acceptance and, leaving indecision behind, as I'm sure that many of us can relate to the indecisiveness that this Libra season has come with, the sort of empowerment or disempowerment that comes from conflict or indecision is now very clear, and we have a great opportunity this week to start to accept certain truths and make things easier. Okay, so we have a few very different types of energies coming in this week, depending on the momentum we've carried over the last few months. Okay, Libra season is always like this. It's one of the most karmic signs of the zodiac, and it's one of maybe the only signs in the zodiac that you really can't pinpoint one way or another. Like, Libra energy is very dependent on many factors. It's a very factorial energy, and it really does not have a very specific subset of personality traits or characteristics, as the answer to everything with Libra is it depends. It's a kind of a very legal sign. There's really a strong ambiguity with the sign of Libra. So this time of the year, especially when cardinal energy is so prevalent with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto in Capricorn, and then Mars and Chiron in Aries, and the Sun now making that a T-square, it really activates the dependent side of Libra. Like this, a lot of what we experience now depends on where we've been this year, and it depends on our momentum. So it's going to be different for everybody, I will say. It's very difficult to construct content at this time and really pinpoint anything specific because it's different for everybody and it depends for everybody. And the magic about that is that you have a lot of wiggle room with Libra season. You have a lot of ability to mold things with your hands, to decide what path you want to be on, to really be the most powerful person in your life and your experience, and to take control of what is yours or what you have claimed. So this is a very great week, especially ahead as we're in the most prominent part of Libra, to claim what is ours and to create even more strongly around that. And what is also possible is a lot of stress this Libra season. I think this has been the most stressful energy that I've felt this year in a different way, where there has been so many things that have come together. We've had Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto go direct, so no longer are we in the re-examining period. Now we are just thrust forward and we are kind of pushed out of the nest. And now things are set. Okay, the foundation is set. The changes have been made, it feels. And we have a need for the next 3 months to just exercise that really well and to do really well with that, leading up to this huge shift into the Aquarian energy oncoming later this year, around the new year. So the most important thing is that in this oncoming week, October 11th to October 18th, we have to really prepare ourselves to be general, prepare ourselves to be kind of autopilot, and also prepare ourselves to take things slowly. This feels really important. I got a very clear psychic message saying keep it in the slow lane. Okay, that was very clear. It was really watch out for trying to do things too quickly, for trying to push something through at the last second, for trying to make huge amounts of changes. If any of you who've been having to make a lot of changes in your life, whether it's relationships or business or career or housing, whatever it is, you would see that is not a super easy thing right now. And the universe is very clear and direct on what is and is not a great direction for us. And that's also become very psychological. So on one hand, it does to me feel super clear, we have very clear signs and symbols all around us whenever we're getting into the wrong territory. But also we can get too sensitive to that as well, or almost a bit neurotic with oh my gosh, is this a bad sign? Is this worrisome? So I think that it's just really important at this time to step back a little bit and to look at the momentum and to see what is an inevitability and what has to happen, because we can get attached to previous time where things were more simple or more easy because of their compactness, because of how small something was, or because of how small an energy was, there's an easiness, lightness, and breathability within it. But as things get bigger and as things become more full of purpose and more contributed to from many different directions, things do inevitably start to change with that, and there becomes more pressure and there becomes more weight to hold up. And a lot of us are there, whether it's, the furthering success of a business, the next step in a relationship, finally getting healthy again, even in the body. You can see that with this energy, there's a bit of a take it or leave it mentality. There is either go big or go home, either make it or break it. Very Shiva-esque energy of create or destroy right now, and especially leading up to Scorpio season. Some of us will just be very destructive at that time and want to be done with everything that we've done, leaving a business, leaving a career, leaving a relationship. And then also some of us will fit comfortably into what we've created for ourselves and find it to be the most secure, most natural progression. And those two things can actually become very similar to one another. So we have in Libra season, you see what I'm kind of getting at here, is these two scales, or this crossroads, or these different decisions that are in front of us. And we have to make sure that we're being healthy with it, okay? I do feel that this is a super, super chemical time, and this has been building since Cancer season when I first introduced it. The chemicals of the body, even chemicals outside of the body, especially as we're getting closer to Scorpio season, which is a chemical sign. We have to watch out for being around chemicals, okay? With Mars retrograde in Aries too, watch out for harsh cleaning chemicals. Watch out for, this even happened to me the other day. I'm just realizing I had gotten my drain stopped up in my sink. So I went out and I found some kind of product to alleviate that. And I'd never used this product before. And I put it down the sink, and it within 10 minutes, it had already been fixed and everything. But it just totally filled my entire house and I had to leave my house for a day and a half in order for it to off gas from the detergent. So, and it was my eyes were burning and stuff like that. So that is very Mars retrograde, and we have Mercury in shadow preparing to go retrograde too. Okay. It's going to be going retrograde on the 14th. All right. So that's a big part of the energy that we're dealing with now, is Mercury in its shadow degrees of retrograde in Scorpio. And we have to really watch out for the potency and the concentration of what we're dealing with. It's so great to sort of mind map things out. What are all the contributing factors to this part of me, or to this goal, or to this purpose? And am I really, walking a harmonious path to that? Because this is very identical to what our chemical situation in the body is. You have certain aspects of your biology, or even your spiritual body, your higher purposes. You have these central roots, the nucleus or the heart, the sun in our solar system. And then you have all these things that rotate around it and derive energy from it, and, grow stronger through it. All right. So if we're not in a very healthy chemical situation in the body or in our homes, it can start to make sort of a Frankenstein type of circulation or solar system experience. So we have to watch out for getting out of control with what we're doing, with investing way too much care or time into things that don't need it. Okay. Fixing that which is not broken, getting very type A with things. Being too much of a perfectionist. This Libra season feels to have just taken the Virgo energy to the next level. It does do that often. Often Libra does that. Not always. Sometimes Libra sort of judges the perfectionism of Virgo, but then oftentimes it also takes it to the next level. So yes, with the Mars retrograde opposite this Libra energy, making this very polarized and perhaps unwell, we definitely have to see where we are making issues out of non-issues, where we are fixing what is not broken, where we are unable to quiet the mind with this Mercury shadow retrograde. We have very, very unhealthy Mars energy out right now. So yeah, not a great time to start a new relationship in any way, shape, or form. For those of you who are single, accept it. It is what it is. I cannot advise that anybody should try to date or try to meet new friends even, or search for new presence in their life, as that's a very Martian thing. It's one thing if it just comes to you, but it's another thing if you're like seeking out a relationship or a friendship or something new. We have Mercury retrograde in Mars's traditional sign of Scorpio, and we have Mars retrograde in Mars's sign of Aries. So anything that we're really seeking or pushing hard with or making to be something big, or, like getting very, Martian with things, is not a good time for that. We have to really be more passive right now. We have to accept things for what they are. We have to let things in. We have to allow things to grow and allow things to flourish, but really watch out for getting like way too involved or way too pioneering with it. Like, I'm going to go in and make sure everything's right. Say for example, you started a new business and you're like, I'm going to go into all of my vendors or all of my, payment platforms, and I'm going to reach out to all of them and make sure that this is what I want it to be. And it's like really neurotic feeling to me. So we have to watch out for that. Okay. Especially if you can look back already and see, whoa, and you can see, especially if you have like a record, like you have like emails or even like your correspondence with not just business or career, but like your loved ones, you might kind of be able to look back and be like, whoa, who was writing those messages? Like your own messages in a more sober mindset can look very neurotic at this time. So it is definitely something to be said a lot about, is our communication right now. This Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Libra, right after we had Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto go direct in Capricorn, it's really going to highlight the communication side of our progress, the communication side of what we do, of what we contribute to, and what our purpose is. So this week is very vital with that. Letting things rest where they lay, letting this be the way that it is, communicating what is necessary, but nothing more. It's so important, okay? And what I also feel with this is like not all bad either. I do feel that, as this Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Libra comes in, especially after the 14th of October, you can actually get a great news, okay? You can actually get really good news, some kind of really powerful message, like that everything is okay or that everything is fine. You can be reimbursed or, given some type of credit or really great resounding encouragement with this too. So it does go both ways. And yes, for some of us, it can be, tough news or, an alert that we've made some kind of error. And that just has to be what it is. It's just communication. We don't want to get so neurotic about communication. This feels to me like the most important thing of this week and really this entire cycle of Mercury retrograde in Scorpio and Libra. So we also this week need to start getting pretty final with things, okay? This is our last week before Scorpio season starts, and I will tell you very directly that this year's Scorpio season is very different than what we're accustomed to with Scorpio energy, and it holds no space for any type of like severe internal conflict or severe